What is up, guys? It's Mega giving you another deck for Link Evolution. This time we're going to do our favourite Duel Academy Professor Proud, and that's Dr. Crowler with our Ancient Gear deck. In this deck, I would like to have put 2 copies of Terraforming in it, but unfortunately it's limited to 1 in this game. So I've had to make some changes where it's needed. If this deck is of course my own opinion of the day, and it's completely cool if you guys disagree with any of the cards I've put in this video. And like I say in every single video, guys, if you disagree, if you are struggling to find any cards so far for any of the decks we've made, I recommend you check out the Card Hub. For not only does it show you the location of cards if they're in the game, but it tells you if they're in a card pack, a duel challenge, campaign, or even how rare the card is. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. Starting us off, guys, is the 1 copy of Ancient Gear box. If this card is added from the deck or the graveyard to your hand, except by drawing it, you get to add a Earth Machine monster from my deck to a hand with 500 attack or defense. There's only 1 target it can use it on, and that is the Ancient Gear frame. So the only reason you use the box is just to search out the frame, so it classes an Ancient Gear monster, so it's useful for the fusions as well. The 2 copies of Ancient Gear frame. If this card's on the field, you can discard 1 card and add an Ancient Gear Golem. We have 2 copies. Or add a card that has Ancient Gear in its tech, so that would be Ancient Gear Fusion. So and also this card has a kind of a niche little effect as well, where should it leave the field, you're able to special summon up to 3 Ancient Gear Golem monsters from your hand, ignoring the summoning conditions. So please bear that in mind as well with frame. And it shares the same effect that a lot of the Ancient Gear cards have. So if it attacks, your opponent can't activate spells or traps until the end of the battle, or end of the damage step, sorry. And speaking of Golem, we're running the 1 normal Golem and 1 Ultimate Golem, Ultimate Pound. So what Gear Golem does, it can't be special summoned unless you use cards that can get around that, and it deals piercing damage and your opponent can't activate spells or traps. It's mainly just for like the defense, like getting over monsters if your opponent's playing defensively. And speaking of which, we have the Ultimate Gear Pound, where up to twice per turn, if this card destroys a monster by battle, you can discard 1 machine monster from our hand, and this card can attack again. So it can attack twice as well, which is just a bit niche, and also it does piercing damage as well. However, this is a bit unique for an Ancient Gear card because your opponent can activate spells or traps. So please remember that with Ultimate Pound, they can activate it, then you are not safe. It also has another effect as well that we can't really trigger because we're not running polymerization. So I'm not going to get into that effect. We are running the 3 copies of Ancient Gear Hound. This card is literally a polymerization in monster form. So if this card is summoned, normal summoned, you dish out 600 points of damage to your opponent straight away, and then once per turn, you can fusion summon an Ancient Gear monster using monsters from your hand or field. So you summon out the Hunting Hound, deal 600 points of damage, use it along with other monsters, go into a fusion summon. It's literally just that simple. And you don't even have to use Hound. You can use other monsters and leave the Hound on the field if you so wish. Using the 2 copies, sorry, of Reactor Dragon, this card is a beast. So I don't really use it for its other effect, where if this card was tribute summoned by Tribute Ancient Gear monster, it gains the piercing effect. So if you do want to sacrifice monsters, please bear that in mind, you can do it. Also, should this card attacks, your opponent can't activate spells or traps like the other ones, and also they can't activate monster effects as well. So that does come in handy. And secondly, the main reason why you want to use this card is for when this card attacked, you're able to destroy 1 spell or trap on the field. So you can even destroy your own cards to play their effects, or you can destroy your opponent's pesky back row. So that's why Reactor Dragon's a must-have. And it's very easy to search out as well. The 3 copies of Ancient Gear Wyvern. Wyvern just sets up this deck so beautifully. So when this card is normal or special summoned, you get to add Ancient Gear card. Doesn't have to be a monster, it can be a spells as well, from your deck to your hand. And the only downside is, if you use this effect of Wyvern, you can't set cards for the remainder of the turn. You have to remember that because it really can throw you off. Also, if this card attacks like the others, your opponent can't activate monster effects until the end of the damage step, but they can still play spells and traps as well. And that's it for the Ancient Gear cards, guys. Going into the free Kaiju, so running the Sea Turtle Kaiju, the Sticky String Kaiju, and the Multi-Dimensional Kaiju. The reason why we're running these is just get over your opponent's pesky cards, like they have Chaos Max, Tribute It going field, or like an Aria, or just beastie cards like with high stupid attack, like Infinity, Tribute It. You can just summon the Kaiju, and it's not an issue because all our extra deck and even our high powered cards can just get over the Kaiju so easy. And that's it for the monsters, guys. Going into the spells, running the 3 copies of Ancient Gear Catapult. This card is beast. Like, you really want to search out this card as much as you can. So if you control no monsters, which is very likely in this deck, especially if you're going turn 1 as well, this card is good. You get to target 1 face-up card you control, you destroy it, then you get special on 1 Ancient Gear monster, ignoring its summoning conditions. So this card can even go into the golems, which can't be special summoned. This card can bring them out. It also has another effect as well, where you can banish it from the grave, target 1 face-up card you control, and destroy it, and then you get to special summon an Ancient Gear token. So that's why it's great. So not only can it destroy a card you control as well, like the Fortress or the Gear Town, and play their effects, you get special on a monster. And during the next turn, if you want to do the exact same stuff again, you destroy your own card, special summon a token, and that token can be used for link plays as well. And also because it's classed as an Ancient Gear token, I believe you can fusion summon it as well. We're using the 3 copies of Ancient Gear Fortress. When you normal or special summon an Ancient Gear monster, your opponent can't target it with card effects. Also, they can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects, which is just beast. It gives them a little bit of protection. And your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to Ancient Gear cards and effects. So your opponent can't. I believe your opponent can't even do stuff like like Infinity, like your Fusion or your Wyvern, because Fortress is protecting them. And also, if Fortress is destroyed while it's in the spell and trap card zone, you get special an Ancient Gear from your hand or grave. So this is what I mean why running Catapult is just so good. So you have this on the field, you play Catapult. Catapult's effects can special summon an Ancient Gear from your deck. Fortress will let you summon, like, I don't know, the Wyvern from your hand, or the or any monsters in your grave, and just bring it back. So with just 2 magic cards, you're instantly go from no monsters to 2. It's just that simple. We're in the 2 copies of Ancient Gear Fusion. Because this card has Ancient Gear Golem in its text, it's searchable with the frame. That's why I'm running it over the normal polymerization. You can only use it special in an Ancient Gear Fusion, but that's the only fusions we have. It can be summoned from the hand or grave, so it's like a polymerization as well. And that's and also, if you are using an Ancient Gear or Ancient Gear Golem as fusion material, you get to use cards from your deck as well, which is very niche. The 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. The main reason why you want to play this is because you just want to set up your grave. So you play this, you set the Catapult to the grave, then you can activate the Catapult's graveyard effect to destroy a card and summon a token. Or if you just want to send mill your deck out of useless cards like the Desires or the Fusion, if you really want, that's what this card's for. The free Gear Town, this field spell is beast. I wish we could have 2 Terraform, and we can't. We can only have 1. What it does is you can both players can normal summon an Ancient Gear monster for 1 less tribute. So all our like golems and raptor dragons that require 2 tributes now require only 1, which does make them easier to summon. And also, if this card is destroyed into the grave, you get special summon an Ancient Gear from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So again, this card is very good to be used with Catapult. So if you open up with Catapult plus Fortress or Gear Town, you summon instantly 2 monsters directly. And if you open up with Gear Town as well, which is kind of better than Fortress, you get summon 2 Ancient Gears from your deck. You're not even using any cards in your hand, just your deck, which is just absolutely beast. Just please bear in mind though, you can't play an Ancient Gear Town, then play another one, and to open it will play its effect. That no longer plays. It doesn't destroy the card, it just replaces. So don't think you can just play another Gear Town on top of a Gear Town. that effect no longer works. Using the one Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. So if your opponent has a full board and you have nothing, just play the Kaiju. Just play this. We're running 3 Kaijus. Obviously, you're going to run the dimensional one to your side and summon one of the other 2 to your opponent's side. It's really just to reset the board. And also, if this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it and add a Kaiju from your hand. Surges out the Kaiju, and you're ready if your opponent has a pesky monster. The one copy of Limina Removal, I so wish you could run 2 copies of this card because it's just beast. So all of our ancient gears are machines, so this card will double all of them and all the fusions as well. They can just reach ridiculous attack points with just this one card. The one copy of Monster Reborn, standard, bring back our monsters, is very good for the Reactor Dragon. It's a 3000 attack point beater, and also you can bring back your fusions as well. Pile of Desires, yes, you have to, running 2 copies of this, yes, you have to banish 10 cards and to draw 2, but it just comes in handy when it's like, you just need to have more draw power. Yes, you're banishing 10 cards, but we have multiple copies of like near enough all our cards, so it doesn't really hinder you too much. The 2 copies of Power Bond, this card is just Eliminate Removal and Polymerization in one. You play this, any of your Ancient Gear monsters you fusion summon, they're going to have double attack. You use this with Chaos Giant or with Ultimate Golem or even Megaton. You have monsters from 6,000 plus all the way to 9,000 attack points you can have your monsters hitting. And that's just with one magic card. Please bear in mind though, this is like a risky card, so if you are summoning like Chaos Giant, you will take 4,500 points of damage during the end phase, so please bear in mind if you are using Parabond. Using the one Terraforming, I so wish you could have 2 copies because it would just make Gear Town more reliable. We can't, guys, it's limited to 1, it's the only reason we're running this. If we could have the 2 Terraforming, I'd take out one of the traps and put in the other copy. And speaking of traps, we're running 3 evenly matched, so at the end of the damage step, if your opponent controls more cards than us, you can activate this trap, and what it does is it forces your opponent to have the same number of cards as what we do, and they have to banish them. It's not like they can just enter the grave, it banishes. So if this is the only card you have and your opponent has like 4 cards, 5 cards, you play this, your opponent has to get rid of the entire field apart from 1, and they banish them. Just get rid of them. That way, they're not in the grave, they can't play their pesky effects. And that's it for the deck, guys. Running on to the extra deck, running the 2 copies of Ancient Gear. How's it were? Oh, that's a weird name to pronounce. So this card is basically your cowboy of the deck. It's unaffected by other card effects as well, so please bear in mind, Limina Removal will not work on this. But if you do summon it with Power Bond, its attack will double. So that will work, but you can't play Limina Removal to double its attack points. Basically, once per turn, you get to inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent. So this is what I mean with like the cowboy. So if your opponent is 1,000 life points, they are in danger of being one-shotted with this. Even 1,600 life points, because you summon the Hound, deal the 600 points of damage, play the Hound's effective fusion into this, deal another 1,000 points of damage. It's just that simple. And also, if this card is destroyed by battle, has to be by battle and sent to the grave, you get to special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. But that's only by battle. So again, this one card can go into the Golem or even the Reactor Dragon. So it is a nice card to go into. And the one copy of Ancient Gear Megaton Golem. This card requires 3 monsters, not 2, unlike the other one. It has the other effects where if it attacks your opponent can't activate spells or traps, which is nice. And if this Fusion Summon card had 2 or more Ancient Gear Golem or Ancient Gear Golem Pound as material, this is highly unlikely. You really will rare play this effect. It can attack as many times as it did Ancient Gear Golem card. So if you Fusion Summon this with both of our Ancient Gear Golems in the deck, they can attack twice, which is very nice with 3,500 attack points. And also this card, if it leaves the field because of your opponent's effect, so it's not by a battle. If your opponent destroys it by battle, this effect won't trigger. It's only by a card effect. You get to instantly special summon an Ancient Gear Ultimate Golem from your extra deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. So this one card for 3,100 attack can go into a monster with 4,400 attack if it just leaves the field, which is very, very nice. Our big boss monster is Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. So this card requires 4 Ancient Gear monsters to summon it. You may think that sounds like a lot, but it's very easy to search, especially through cards like Wyvern, and the fact that you can use the catapults and the Gear Town and Fortress. It's so easy to bring out 4 cards. And this card is unaffected by spells and traps. So again, you can't use the limiter removal, but you can use Power Bond on it. And if you use Power Bond on this, it's going all the way up to 9,000 attack points. And your opponent's effects cannot activate. So your opponent's monster effects cannot activate during the battle phase. And this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once, and it does piercing damage. So 9,000 attack and can deal piercing damage and can attack all monsters your opponent controls. This card is a beast. It's like, this is our ultimate card in the deck. The one copy of Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, you mainly bring this card with Megaton, but you can special summon it normally, whereas you need 1 Golem and 2 other Ancient Gear monsters, which is actually very easy to do. If this card attacks a monster in defense, it deals piercing damage. With 4,400 attack, that's just great. Your opponent can activate spells or traps until the end of the damage step. And if this card is destroyed, it doesn't matter by battle or by card effects, you get special summon an Ancient Gear Golem in your grave, ignoring its summon conditions. So you have to use a Golem to summon out this card. And should it be destroyed, you just bring back the Golem you used to fusion summon. It's that simple. But this card can be affected by limiter removal, and it can be affected by Power Bond. So it just reaches ridiculous attacks. Like with just one of them, it can reach 8,800. Combine that with limiter removal, it just gets to ridiculous numbers. And that's if the fusions go into the Exceeders, because we are running quite a few level 4s in the deck. And we're also running the odd level 3, but mainly we are running like a lot of level 4s. So we're using the one Abyss Driller, stops your opponent from using any monsters activated in the grave, such as like Cyber Dragon Hurts, Burning Abyss, Heraldic Beasts, Snow White, Fairy Tale Snow. Just shuts down all those cards so they can't activate, which is just nice in general. The Cascal, get around that pesky card, can be monster or be spell or trap. You just send 2 overlay units to the grave, bounce it back to the deck. The Dire Wolf, you can use this effect where you can target 1 beast monster, including itself, and 1 card your opponent controls, and we destroy them both. So that's nice to get around. So you use this card, go for a sacrificial play, destroy it with 1 card your opponent controls, and just get over the way. The 1 copy of Ancient Gear, Gigant X, sorry, I can't pronounce that for the life of me. It's 2 level 4 machines. That's so easy to do in this deck. You can use 1 overlay unit, and you get to add a level 4 lower machine from our deck to our hand. All graveyard as well, so it works for the Wyvern, the Box, which will play the Box's effect, the Frame, and the Hounds. It all works on all of those cards. So that's why this card. That's why it's very good to go into this card. The 1 Utopia, which means we are running Utopia the Lightning. Utopia can negate 1 attack if you use an overlay unit. That's not the main reason you're going to Utopia. If you're playing Utopia, you automatically go straight into Utopia the Lightning, where you rank up your Utopia, you bring out this card. If this card battles an opponent's monster, they can't activate cards or effects until the end of the damage steps. It's kind of like an Ancient Gear Golem. And also, once per chain during damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, while it has a Utopia as overlay, so you can use this effect more than once, I believe. You can attach 2 overlay units, and this card doubles its attack points during the damage. So it will go. So during damage, this card can go up to 5,000, and just go over very big boards. And finally, we're running the 1 copy of Tornado Dragon. It has a once per turn quick effect where you can just use 1 overlay unit, destroy a spell or trap. It's just there to get over effect, like to get over pesky back row. And that's it for the Exceeders. Going into the links, we're running 1 Mrs. Radiant. Oh, that's a weird name. You use 2 Earth attributes. All of our ancient gears are Earth, so you can go into this link. And also it's 2 links pointing downwards, which is always very nice. So you can go to multiple exceeds and fusions. And all of our Earth attributes, so all of our ancient gears, even all of our fusions, will gain an extra 500 attack. So this with Chaos Giant will be hitting 5,000 attack points with piercing as well, which is just fantastic. Also, you can, should this card be destroyed in battle or by card effect, you get to add an Earth attribute monster from your grave and add it to your hand. So this will even work for the box or any of our ancient gear monsters. And then finally the Underclock Taker. This card needs no introduction. Your opponent has, I don't know, a high level monster, or you just want to go for an OTK. You have the Underclock Taker. You target one of our high powered ancient gear cards. Your opponent monsters lose attack equal to the monster. So again, Chaos Giant. You target one opponent you controls. They're going to lose 4,500 attack points. Then Chaos Giant just goes for the win. It's just simple as that, guys. And that's it for the deck. I hope you really enjoyed it. It's been very fun to make, and it's actually very fun to play Ancient Gears again. If you enjoyed this deck, guys, I hope you hit the like comment. It really helps out the deck and the channel. And if, like I say in every single video, if you want to see any more decks, either come to my Twitch and to be on there, or comment in this comment section down below. I'm more than welcome to make any decks you guys desire for it. Not only does it give me something to do, but actually I get to create and find out new strategies. And that's it, guys, from me. I shall see you again, and I hope you enjoy the deck. Take care. Goodbye.